Good evening, everybody. Are we all ready? Sitting comfortably, I hope. It's lovely to see so many of you on a fairly inclement night, but not too bad. And we've got some really good guests for you tonight, as ever. And first of all, can I just remind you, if you've got a mobile, will you put it on silent or switch it off, please? Only because it says get some funny music sometimes. Well, there you go. Okay. Now, we need people to serve on our committee. The things that we arrange for you don't happen by accident. They happen because there's a big body of people working very, very hard in the background. Things change over time. People get different interests, different family responsibilities, and sometimes it's just time to say, do you know what, I've done my lot. And that is the feeling that some of our members are having now. Having done many years of hard work, they feel it's time to put their feet up. Now, we're in a situation where, like I say, we can't organise things if we haven't got enough people to help us. So if you are interested, or you know someone who may be interested, would you please let a committee member know? Those people who are interested are very welcome to come along to any of our committee meetings, as long as we've got prior knowledge, and see what goes on, see if it's for you. And also, it's really good at times to get new blood in, because new people bring new ideas, fresh approaches, and that in turn regenerates committees. So please have a really good think, and think about friends and family who may be interested. Now, our presentation event, you should have received a letter as you came in tonight. If you didn't, I'll email it you, because I'll be ticking off who I've given it to. If I've not given it to you, you'll get one by email. It's got the details of the presentation event, it's got the details of how to pay, and at the bottom of it, it's got the voting slips, so that you are voting for your Riversiders Forward of the Year and Player of the Year. You can email me, you've all got the details on your Riversiders website, etc. And most people get them either from me by email at times anyway, so you can email me or you can text me if you prefer. And don't forget, you can watch video snippets on YouTube now of all our wonderful meetings. And at the moment, we've also got podcasts of 10 to Tackle on our Weebly website, and our latest one on there is Nathan Lowe, who I'm sure you'll be interested in listening to, because we, as the Riversiders, we sponsor him. Lancashire Federation weekend, and the details are, as you know, it's set into the 4th of February. If anybody else, because I think we ran out last time, wants the details of the all-inclusive package, I've got more copies. Ron's very kindly brought more tonight. And that is on the 2nd to the 4th of February at the Doric Hotel, £156 per person all-inclusive for the full weekend, £134 per person if it's not all-inclusive. There are other packages, Saturday only and meal only, and Ron's always here to get information from you. Now, our next meeting next month is going to be a very special meeting. It's our next Academy night, so we're going to have our wonderful Academy players here who are going to be receiving their Man of the Match awards. So come along and have a really good night with them all. And now I'm going to hand over to Gail.
Good evening, everyone. So just before we bring the lads up to the stage, I just wanted to pick up on what Lynn said about the YouTube. Obviously, if you go onto YouTube and just put in the search engine Riversiders videos, then you will get our channel, and obviously the meetings will be on there. So if you can't make it to a meeting, then obviously you can log on and watch it. Or if you come to a meeting and you enjoy it, then obviously you can watch it again. Obviously, just want to say a big thank you to Andrew. He deals with all the YouTube, he does the videos, he uploads them, and obviously he's doing a great job. Also, we do have a new Instagram, the Riversiders, so you can search for that if you're on social media. And Olivia is currently running that, and if you have a look, she's doing an amazing job with that as well. Right, so the bad news is, unfortunately Ethan Havard can't make it this evening, but we still have got some good guests for you. So we've been joined by 3 academy players, so if we can just welcome them onto the stage. So we've got Tom Rachford, Kian McDermott, no rush, Kian, and lastly Jack Farrimond. Just have a seat, Jack, thank you. Right, so we do have obviously a first team player here this evening, so let's get him up. This evening's guest was born in Leigh. He started playing rugby league. Oh, that's not a good start, right? He started playing rugby league at age 5 after joining Holton Farnworth Hornets. In 2017, he joined Wigan's scholarship system, played 2 seasons in the under-16s. During that time, he represented England youth 4 times, including 1 game where he broke 2 ribs and suffered a laceration to his liver. Ouch. That didn't put him off playing, and he progressed to the Wigan Warriors Academy. As an academy player, he came to quite a few Riversiders meetings. He won that many man of the matches in 1 season, we were nearly giving him his own parking space. He made his Super League debut on the 24th of June 2021 against Wakefield. He also enjoyed a brief loan spell at Widnes Vikings, where he scored 2 tries in 9 games and made an average of 42 tackles per game. It's his first time here as a senior player, so let's give him a big Riversiders welcome. Heritage number 1112, Brad O'Neill. Over to Jeanette.
Isn't this good? I came up here, I checked the microphone, didn't count the bloody seats there. Right, we're good, take it in turns. I don't mind standing up for a bit, but then it'll be like musical chairs, okay? So you have to earn your money tonight. I'm not sitting on one of them, I'll be looking like I'm looking up his shorts. So, no. Right, can we give a big round of applause to Jack, Kian and Tom, because I think they thought they were going home tonight and having a relaxivoo and chill out, and God love them, they've drawn the short straw and they're here with us. So can we give them a big round of applause? You see, it's work. This is what you do, Jack. You know. Oh, you don't need me for hair, love. You know, don't worry about it. Right, we've got 4 smiling faces, that won't last long. Right, each one of you here just absolutely typify what the Riversiders are all about. And everything we do, everything we want in life is to see young lads, Wigan lads, good lads going through the Wigan system. So you all represent that. So I think we'll start the night with cheeky face Jack. And he can tell us all about himself, This position, I know you've done this before when you've had man of the match, and I know you've got a man of the match coming, but we thought we'd make you wait another week for it. Otherwise you'd just spend it and be damned, wouldn't you? So we'll work our way along, but not for you, Brad, just these three, just telling us your position and how life is in the academy for you.
Yeah, so I'm Jack, cheeky face Jack, so yeah, I played the junior rugby at Lee Miners Rangers, I'm another Lee lad like me, unfortunately. But yeah, I've come all the way through the system, started at scholarship, signed on the academy, so Fisher Academy, played scrum half pretty much all my life until we had positions, so yeah, it's just a little bit about me.
My name's Kian McDermott. Played for Wigan St Pat's all my life. Started at the age of 5 and made my way through to scholarship at the end of the first year, and then just progressed myself into academy, which is going well so far. Played it all my life.
And you went to win now.
I'm Tom. I started playing rugby when I was 5 at Wigan St Jude's until I was 15 when I moved to Lee Miners. I came through the scholarship system where I signed with the academy. I'm a second year academy player, so I'm a year older than these two, and I play Eco.
All these confessions about Lee. And there might be people in this room, Brad, that didn't know you were a Lather. We could have got away with that one, but for blabbermouth here. So thanks a lot. I just wanted to know you were in good company, didn't you? So Brad, you too started playing rugby when you were 5, and you came through the scholarship here as well. She always does it to me, Gail. Things that I'm going to ask you. She's put it in that opening introduction, but here we go. You did represent England youth 4 times, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you did get broken ribs and you lacerated liver. Right, so I'm asking you, how bad was that? And I'm asking you 3 what kind of injuries you've had. So we'll pass that over to Brad.
Yeah, so as Gail said before, I was 15 at the time, and I was playing for England against Wales down in Cardiff. It was my first youth England game, and it was like about 5 minutes into the game, and I flew off the line to make a tackle, and this prop was a lot bigger than me, and he stuck his knee up. So as I flew into him, he's caught me in my ribs, and I just thought I got winded at first, and then I couldn't breathe when I was down, and then so I went off for a breather for 20 minutes, and then I tried coming back on, and I come on and made like 3 or 4 tackles on bounce, and then when I thought sideline, I just collapsed. Or I weren't great, and then my mum and my dad knew that I wasn't in a good spot, and then I got rushed to Cardiff Hospital, and I was in there for 2 weeks. I was in intensive care. Yeah. It was a bad do, and then it took 6 months to come back, and then I went straight into the second year of scholarship and played the same lad who did it. He played for Hull, he played for Wales as well, so we got him back, we dusted him up and we went to
I can't really follow that up really. I think when I was 9, I was playing at Alts and Hornets and I broke my nose. I tried to catch the ball, and as I did, a defender flew out the line and decided to headbutt me, so that's the only injury I've had.
I broke my back not so long ago. I had already knackered that up in amateur, and then I got on playing with it in academy, and then played Bradford, and then just knackered it up from there really, and I see a specialist on that, and got on back now.
broke my wrist against Warrington, second year scholarship. But then left it without seeing the physios, went to the hospital for 2 weeks, kind of got on with it. But then it got to the point where I had to pull out of all training, couldn't catch a ball, couldn't do anything like that. So I eventually decided, I think it might be time to go get it looked at. Went and got it looked at, just a broken wrist for 6 weeks in a cast on the back. 6 weeks in a cast turned into 12 weeks in a cast after it not healing. 12 weeks in a cast then turned into 15, 16 weeks in a cast because the board had displaced in for surgery, and that was another 7, 8 weeks in a cast after surgery, and then back after pre-season. So I missed all the back end of scholarship season right from June, and then played the first game back in February this season. So yeah, it was a long time out, but missed all pre-season and all running, so weren't really that bad, was it?
The moral of the story, Jack, might possibly be, don't be a silly bugger and go to the A&E in the first place. And I did like that comment from you. I couldn't breathe, but I went off for a breather. that did have me mystified, Brad. So, when you have these injuries and these layoffs, we know in the first team, when we speak to the first team players, that, you know, there's good camaraderie, good support for them while they're recovering from the injury. So in scholarship circles and academy circles, do you find that that's the same when you've been injured? You know, you've been well looked after by the club and you've been well supported by your by your colleagues?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that we're going to really good at all the way through the teams, all the way from scholarship, academy to first team. You get the same treatment no matter what team you're in. So I broke my wrist in scholarship, and the first team physios knew about it and were still asking. I had physio Jack kept going, checking up, seeing how rehab and progress we're getting on with it. So yeah, it's the same all the way through. All your teammates obviously want you back on the pitch as soon as possible, because the mates as well as the people that you play with, so they're all looking out for you, all the coaching staff and the physios are there for you as well. So yeah, it's exactly the same all the way through the team.
Yeah, so when I coming back up, I had a few scans and I had an X-ray which didn't really show much. I had a MRI scan, that didn't really show much, and I went for a CT scan and that's what showed the break. I had a fracture on one of my lower left vertebrae, one of them, and got spotted really well, and eventually going to see a specialist, and they pointed me in the right direction of rehabbing that and come back strong and fit and was where I'm today.
I've not really had any long-term injuries whilst I've been at Wigan, but what I can say is when someone does get injured, all the lads get around him so he doesn't feel left out, because it can be a lonely place when you're coming back from injury, when you're doing your rehab and everyone else is on the field practising for the game. So we just try and get around the lads who are injured and keep them involved really.
So Brad, we've talked about the injury that you picked up in your young career, but then you went on to have a further injury that took you out of the game for a good while. Do you want to talk to us about that? You know, I hope you've got it all out your system, because you're at first team now, we can't be having none of this happening.
Yeah, so I was halfway through the academy season and I'd been in here a few times picking up my man of match money, so I've done that for a bit. I was playing Hull on here, and I was taking a kick-off carrier. I was playing middle at the time, and I just stepped off my left foot, and then boom, blew my knee out. Done my ACL, my MCL and my meniscus cartilage. So I got straight for a scan, booked in for an operation a month later, and it was all going well. I come back, I was training with the first team and doing my rehab up here, and then COVID come, so I was like 6 months into my rehab, and yeah, COVID come, so I did the rest of my rehab on my own, and obviously we couldn't come into contact with no one, so I was doing it through a Zoom call with the physios, and returned to running and changing direction. Did it all on my own, and then my first game back was a pre-season friendly against Salford. It ended up being like 18 months later, so it was like a really long time. And obviously all the lads went through like not playing through COVID, but with me coming back through my ASL, it made it that bit tougher. So obviously when I go back playing, I was really happy and really pleased to be back, and hopefully touch wood and don't get no more.
I've looked this up, it was actually 20 months. So it's a long time, and then coming back into a first team pre-season friendly, that's pretty damn good, don't you think, Jack?
Yeah.
I was a bit bothered then, because you looked like your mind had wandered and I thought I'd better bring you back. You're still here, that's good. So, academy-wise, after your academy and you're coming down to the fringes of the first team, often you can't secure your place, so you put out on loan and you went out to Widnes. Was that a delightful experience?
Yeah, so obviously started here, that pre-season friendly, then I went to Widnes on loan, and to be fair, I played at Alton, so like, I knew one of the assistant coaches there, and so he got me on loan there, and then I just kind of fitted in, playing with them, with like some Matty Smith who's played here before, Danny Craven, Jack Owens, some really experienced players, and they just guided me with playing wise, but like, playing in the Championship, it's very physical, but at some games it's more physical playing Championship than it is playing Super League. So that, how many games did I play? I think you should know. So yeah, so I made 9 appearances, and in them 9 games I feel like I come on leaps and bounds, physically dealing with men in it. And then when I come back here, it stood me in good shape for the rest of my career, really, so far.
Just because you're quite bashful, you played 9 games, you scored 2 tries, so evidently you play better there than you do here. The other good thing, which I feel is quite astounding, do you know what your average tackle count was? 42 tackles per game as an average of them 9 games. That takes some doing. He's evidently proud of that one because bloody well remembered it, didn't he? I've told you that Gail steals all my thunder. We must read the same pages. So, if I said to you, Brad, what would you say to these young up-and-coming players as to how to cement the route to the first team?
Well, for a start, they're all here for a reason, aren't they? So they're all really good at what they do. Yeah, so they're all really good at what they do. They all have a great attitude. They all just need to probably keep working hard, keep having that great attitude, and the time will come. The opportunities do come at this club every year. It's shown for forever, really. So the chances will come. They just need to be patient and keep working hard, and like I said, it will all come through.
With each of you young men, when you were approached by Wigan's scouts and that, and to come along to the club and that, were you surprised that Wigan were interested? Were you delighted that Wigan were interested? And have you found Wigan's lived up to everything that you ever wanted it to?
Well, yeah, when I was getting looked at, under 14s it is when they start sniffing around at the clubs asking you to come and start training with you. So I had Warrington Saints and Wigan all offering, trying to talk to me, trying to buy with my dad and stuff after games. So I had a tough decision to make, obviously. In this room, like, people won't agree with me because it's Warrington and Saints, but 3 are probably the best clubs in England. So yeah, I had a tough decision to make, and then when the decision did finally come, I chose Wigan, and I don't think I've ever looked back since I made that decision. And then the moment that you walk through these doors, and then like from meeting all the coaching staff to having your first session, meeting all the lads, and then making your way up through to the academy, it's just been just like mind blowing. Really, like the facilities that we've got. We're so like pleased to share with the first team, and grateful for. I'd say we've got some of the best facilities in England, and maybe even in the world at the minute. So it's a privilege really to be at the club.
Considering that Warrington, it's always their year, did that help in your decision making?
Yeah, it did, to be honest. It is always the year, but it never actually is it? So, yeah, it did help.
I only come onto the scholarship a bit late, at the end of the first year. I got asked to come in and play a game over there on the pitch, playing against our age, year above, and I think there was a few under-17s in there, and then come off the bench, and personally I didn't think I did that good, but after the game I got a call to come back, and I got offered a scholarship, and it was all that moved me, really. Happy with that, and buzzing ever after that. I just couldn't wait to come in on the Monday. It was like me coming inside, I was buzzing, couldn't sleep or anything. Yeah, that's it really.
Well, Saints originally came in for me, so I was doing training sessions with them once a week, and then a few weeks later Wigan came in, and it was a dream come true and an easy decision, so Saints kind of went out the window at that point. And like I said, it's a dream come true when you walk through these doors, you're challenged every day, and you see like first teamers walking around, and they've always got like time to say hello and actually how you doing, so right through from scholars to first team, it's like a one club environment and everyone treats you the same.
Dave, you sack love, I've got a new technician here. Hey Chris Rachford, you never told us your tongue Saints for sniffing round him, as Jack says. So on that note, we've got your dad there, and this is for you as well, Brad. When you were approached by Wigan, how excited were you to go home and tell Mum and Dad?
Very. It was.
I bet you were worried though, coming from Lane, Mother won't be happy, won't she?
Yeah, I'll just follow up on that actually, because it's funny. My granddad's a really passionate Leeds supporter, so when I had to break the news to him, it felt more of a sorry message than something that we should be happy about. So I sent him a message first, apologising. And he said, it's alright, we forgive you, just go and do what you do. Still enjoy it, even though I'm at Wigan coming from Leeds. So. But yeah, it was a very good time, honestly. Telling all my family. Went home, told my mum and dad, sent that message to my granddad, and then told my wider family, and they were all supportive, and there weren't really anyone that in the next few weeks didn't ask, when you're starting training, when you're going in, when you're meeting the team, who else has signed? That was a talk around the house and in our family for the next 3-4 weeks after we got the news. So yeah, it was a very good time.
Well, I was sat in that room right there with my dad, and after I got offered a lot of time, he says, well done, proud of you, and got round, told everyone in the family, and everyone was just chuffing me really. And it was just like, you've worked hard for it, in that, coming through a lot of day and not playing in all that time. And then, yeah, that's it really.
Well, my dad was with me when I got told I was getting a scholarship, and probably by the time we walked out the building, he already put a post on Facebook telling everyone, so I think he was proud of me. So,
Yeah, so when I got told, I was with my dad also, and but my dad's a massive Wigan fan, which is, yeah, my dad's a massive Wigan fan, and so the rest of my family, to be fair, yeah, it was all really proud and proud ever since, really. That's just been part of my life now, and they're all behind me now, and I've got an army of them, army of Wigan fans, so yeah, it's good.
So what I want to look at now, as fans, we've had quite a lot of excitement recently with next year's recruitment, the calibre of player that we're getting. So I'll ask each one of you, I'll give you a player each. What do you think of Kian coming, Jack? Told you were drifting. Have you got it now? Centre, kicks goals, good runner, Catalan, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great signing, to be honest. I think obviously we don't know what Toby and Jake are doing next year. Yeah, so I think it's pretty much straight swap there, isn't it? He's got all the skills that you need as a centre, and I'm sure he'll have that determination and grit of a Wigan player, else they wouldn't have offered him to come here. So I think it's a really good sign. I think he's got all the skills, he can kick goals. So Irish ever not playing, then straight swap there, isn't it? We've got a goal kicker in the squad as well.
So because you're a big lad, we'll give you a forward. What do you think of Sam Walters? He plays for Leeds, he's quite tall.
Every time I watch him for Leeds, I've always admired him really. I've always thought he's a good player. And I think this year he's been really well, right, and the form he's in. I think he's earned around playing class, and obviously Wigan think he's good enough to play here, so I think it's a good addition to the squad. Good luck to him next year.
Right, as a hooker, we'll give you Cruz Lehman.
Probably just his experience. He's been over in the NRL for this year, so probably just when he comes back over, like his quickness around the ruck, his running game, and just teaching us, like, even though Brad's like a 13 and now he's still young, so probably just his experience that he brings into the team, and the way he leads the team around. He's a natural leader. I think he was captain at Leeds, so the more leaders you can get in a team, the better, really.
Now look at that, Tom did that without a description. Doing better than you, Jack, isn't it? Shall we give you another one, see if you can do better? Okay, let's have a see who we'll give you. Perhaps we'll give you Tiaki Chan, seeing as you know all about Catalan.
Yeah, when they signed him, I was one of the only ones who thought that a very good signing, to be honest, out of our family. They were all, oh, who's that? I've never heard of him before. So, kind of explained, and then watched him for the next couple of games, and everyone thought, yeah, they understand now why we're going to sign him. Every time he touches balls, even though he plays in the middle, he's one of the fastest players on the pitch. I think the way that he carries off from kick-off and stuff, I think he's unreal. I'd like to see him take a back line, carry it in needle wheel against Saints. I think that'll be unbelievable to watch. So, yeah, I think he's another very good signing for next year.
Great stuff. And for you, Brad, I've saved Tyler. You can tell us a little bit. I mean, God love the lad, 3 or 4 days to settle in before he was actually playing. Showed you how to score a try. This is how you do it. You know, so we'll ask you just, you know, your thoughts on Tyler.
Yeah, so obviously, first game he showed me how to score, proper try, didn't he? Yeah, he come in. When did he come in? I think he came in Tuesday, looking about training with Matty. I think most of you would have seen it on Facebook before he got announced. Someone had took a picture of him. Yeah, he trained team run the day after. And then obviously played. It comes with a lot of experience. Obviously he's played League One with Oldham, and he went to Widnes and he went to Salford. He's played for England early in the year. He's very big, athletic, strong. He carries really tough. Gets you on the front foot, obviously like most of you seen. That's what he brings to us. He's a sound fella as well, to be fair. Works hard, obviously to train this week works really hard. Brings a lot of energy, and I think he's going to improve us in that middle massively.
So we've retained you, we'll talk about the retention now, but we've retained you for the next 4 years. How good is that for you as far as your career, of course, but for the financial stability, for knowing that, you know, you're sorted till the end of 2027?
Yeah, obviously when we're going to come forward with the deal, I think so, early on in the year. Takes a couple of months obviously to sort out, and then when we finally agreed, I was over the moon. Means, like I said, I can be financially stable for the next 4 years. I've got a young family at home, so I can buy a nice house and do nice things for the next 4 years. Just as well as focusing on rugby really, on what matters, and making sure that we're winning here and hopefully bringing some more silverware back this year, and for the next 4 years whilst I'm here.
So as well as retaining yourself, of course, Ethan got a 4-year contract, and like I said, we're all about the youth here, so it's absolutely brilliant for us to see somebody come all through and get a 4-year deal at the end of it. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. So we've retained yourself, we've retained Ethan, we've retained Kay Ellis for 3 years, and of course we've taken up the option on Abbas for the other year. So looking at just the recruitment and the retention and players that are still going to be under contract, just how strong do you think their squad is going to be next year, Brad?
Yeah, I think our squad is going to be very strong next year, but not just for next year, for the next 4. So most of the lads we've signed, like Sam Walters, Tseki Chan, Tyler Dupree, they're all still young lads, 22, 23, myself and 21, Ethan's 22. I think Matty in the club is trying to build a team that's going to be successful and win us trophies for the next 4 years, so our prime will come. Hopefully we do go on to win a lot of things in the next 4 years, which is building nicely with Matty. All the lads and all the staff really buy into Matty's processes. We enjoy being here, and hopefully we can repay you lot and the club back by bringing some silverware.
So for each of you, as we bring in players and we retain players, and we've got you 3 who are knocking on the door wanting to get in that first team, how good is it for making you stay on top of your game, the competition for those places?
Yeah, it's a real good challenge, isn't it? Because sometimes I think you can let it run away from you when you keep looking up in front of you and there's gaps opening up. You think, oh, my chance, but then you don't get the chance, so you just got to keep working hard. I think it motivates you a bit more, to be honest, seeing young lads coming through like obviously my position is Harry Smith, and there is still young, still got a long future at the club and a long future in rugby league, so I'm still pushing hard, biting at his heels really, telling him don't lay off for a week or else. It gives you a great boost of motivation.
As Jack said, yeah, I think it's a massive challenge, and just to see how much you want it, and see how much, like Brad said, how much you want to work hard and get your chance that one day. And he said, be patient, that time will come, and you know, that's what's going to happen, yeah.
I think you've just got to be patient, really, like Kian said. Matty likes playing young lads, so your chance will come, and when it does, you have to take it, otherwise someone else will, so you just have to keep doing your extras away from training and try and put your best foot forward, and your chance will come.
That really is the proven thing here at Wigan. If you're good enough, you're on that team and you're in talent there on that field. So talking about competition for places, competition for places in the first team is, particularly at the moment, having got over a lot of our injuries, is very, very keen. I think Matty has a lot of choice that he can make, so you've got competition there. But what's it like when you've got young runts like this one telling you, playing a game and warning you?
Yeah, it's just Jack, and he's a run lad from Leigh like me, so... I think, obviously, I've been in Jack's position not too long ago now, and I had a similar mindset to Jack, that I was coming through and that I was going to work hard, and one day that my chance will come and that I will take it. I think it's the same for all young lads. I think we've all got to have that mindset, else there's no point being at the club. Obviously, like Jack said, Harry Smith, he's biting into his heels, and that is the case. Like I say, for all the young lads, with all of us up at first team, Wigan's known for producing young lads, great young lads, best in the country, so all of us, that's right through to the academy all the way for the first team, we all need to keep working hard and putting our best foot forward, because if we don't, like Jack says, back to the heroes coming for you, so, and it's true, but it's only going to make us better as players, and it's going to make the club better and hopefully win us something.
So talking about winning something there, of course last year you had a terrific year with the Challenge Cup. At 21 you've got, well at 20 you've got your Challenge Cup winners medal, which is amazing. Can you just tell us a little bit about the semi-final, because that was quite a tumultuous week for you that week, wasn't it? You were very busy on the home front as well, weren't you?
Yeah, so obviously Sam got banned last year, which my chance come. I think he got 6 or 7 games last year, and my chance come early on in the season. So on the week of the semi-final, my missus was booked in to have the C-section for the baby, and it ended up being 2 days before the semi-final, so I missed the team run, which is the day, like 2 days before the game. I was stuck in Oldham Hospital, and then I had Matty on the phone ringing me, how's it going? But his then words was, make sure you're ready for Saturday. So yeah, but to be honest, that was on my mind, even though when the baby woke up, we were done. Our next job and making sure I was ready for Saturday. It was a massive game, the biggest game that I've ever played in, especially against St Helens in the semi-final. You only get one chance, and then like I say, I probably said it's close between which is one of my favourite games, the semi-final or the final, because beating Saints in the semi-final with the run that they was having, they was like pretty unstoppable, you know. They just won 3 in a row, and obviously they went on to win 4 last year, so they was like the favourites. And obviously with Perry missing, and I was only like young lad then, well Stan, but there was even young lad then, and I felt like there was a lot of pressure on Wigan, being in the semi-final against Saints, obviously to come out on top of that and beat them, to go to Tottenham, and then obviously to go and win that 3 weeks later, to go and win that with the family watching as well, especially having a newborn there. It was pretty special, and I'll never forget that.
What did you think of the Tottenham Stadium, and did you Liam came to our rescue with his late try in both games? Did you run the first one with him against St Helens, and did you think, go Harry, you know him who you snapping at the heels on? He put a brilliant pass out to Liam Marshall to get that try, so watch that and learn, lad. Okay, so what did you think of Tottenham as a venue?
Yeah, Tottenham. What a stadium. Brand new. Change rooms. Well, we got shit end at stick there, so we got the away changing rooms. And Huddersfield, they got the home ones with all the fancy tricks in it. But ours weren't too shabby either, you know. But they got the home ones. Yeah, massive stadium. Brand new. All the family loved it. To be fair, they was all in. All the families was in at the top box, but we were right at the top of the stadium, so when we'd run it, they couldn't even get down to us. So that was the only downside, but no, as a stadium, as a one-off game there, it was pretty special. Yeah, obviously gutted not to be at Wembley this year, but that's another story.
So before we get on to the sad tale that was this year's semi-final, for you three lads, we've got the academy in the top 4 and can't be taken out of there, yeah? So, you know, what are we going to do when we play Saints on 26th of August? Because you made a promise in this room, I remember it. So what are we going to do, Jack?
We've got to go and do a job on them, haven't we? Can't let them take 2 over us in one season, so yeah, we've got to go over there to totally wicked and beat them by more than what they beat us by. Make it 1.5 to 1.
And Kian, are you looking forward to being involved in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's been a good experience. Playing in the semi-final, hopefully, and then hopefully getting to the grand final. And even better to win it. But got to put the hard work in and get there. That's it.
And Tom, what are your thoughts? Because you're a year older than these lads, so you'd better show them what to do to get that blinking medal.
Yeah, so last year was a pretty disappointing season for the academy. We didn't even get into the playoffs, which is unheard of for Wigan Academy side. So me and the other lads who are second years now, basically as we went up into this year, we all told the younger lads that we want to get there and we want to win it, because with all the help you lot give us as well, you deserve to see us lift that trophy at the end of the season as well.
Hey, he's good, isn't he? Brought a good one in here, Chris, love. He's a good one. So, your next game, 26th of August, am I right? You won't work Catalan away and your academy away. So if it pans out, what do we know what date the final is for the academy? No. I'm only worried for if it clashes with our presentation dinner, because we want you to be there and get fed. Okay. So Brad, the moment you've been waiting for, you know, how disappointed were we with the semi-final loss?
Yeah. Yeah. Tough day, weren't it? To be fair, throughout that game, we all felt pretty confident, even throughout the game, especially going in half-time leading. We felt like in the second half we just had to do the same as the first. We like nothing had to change. Defend something, play smart in attack. And then shows us smokes in, doesn't he, Mikey Lewis? But I don't think it was a red card or anything. Oh, you agree as well? It was just a fair, tough tackle, which is what we get taught all the way through from the scholarship, is to wait hard and bend your back. Obviously, so that happens, but in the quarter-final against Warrington, we did it all game of 12 men, so there was no doubt there that we was going to hang in and tough it out. And then obviously it gets closer, and obviously the score, and it goes to, was it 12 to 10 all, 12 all? Yeah, no. And then, in the last minute, bust up my eye. I would stitch with my eye, probably just come out today. And then we're just fighting for our lives, really. That's how it felt. And then we're going to Golden Point, pretty confident. And then, like I said, they get the ball like we start. They get the ball like you've already seen it, and they set up right, and me and Faz chasing down, and he sneaks one. But we'd watched him in the warm up, and honestly, he was shanking him all over. He was terrible, and he hit this one so sweet he couldn't do it again. And it was just his day. And we all come in the next morning, very disappointed, hurt. And we owed Lee that one last week, and we own this one Friday. So, yeah.
So you said there about Joe Shorrocks. What I find is, like, when Willie Peters, the opposition coach, says he thought it was a 10 at most, I think that says it all, really, doesn't it? Yeah. But just on tackling technique, how's it going for you three with this pilot scheme of you don't like it, do you, Jack? No, I've noticed. So how do you find it trying to do this below the armpit tackles? Keep it clean.
So yeah, when John and Shane come into us, we come in one day and said, right lads, we need a meeting. So we were all looking around thinking, who's done something wrong, or what's going on here? And then they sat us down and put this slideshow up, and we were like, right lads, the rules are changing. And we all kind of looked around the room at each other and thought, what's going on about here? Like, I mean, the rules start changing, it's rugby league. Like, it's the game's the game, isn't it? So yeah, explained it. Can't tackle above the armpit, kick-offs from the 40-metre line. So yeah, I think it took us a good few weeks to get our heads around it. We got given a 3-week break from games to kind of practice the rules and train with these rules. We had a couple of refs in from the RFL to watch training sessions and tell us what we could do, what we couldn't do, which I thought was a real help. And after them sessions, we kind of built on it. And in that meeting with John and Shane, they said, I know the coaches don't like it, we don't like it, I don't think anyone involved in rugby league is going to like it, but we're going to come out the other side the best of these rules, which I think we have done. We've beat Huddersfield comfortably on here, Warrington comfortably in there, and then went down to London at the weekend and beat them quite comfortably. So yeah, that's the 3 games done for the trial rules. So yeah, so they were rubbish, but we got through.
You say you beat London comfortably. What kind of a score would it be if you blitzed Sunday? Because it's pretty high, that one. What was it, 68 something? 58? It was bloody high, weren't it? No. So, I'm coming to you now, Tom. With this tackling at the armpits, do you think that endangers players for where they may get tackled more around the legs, the kind of things that there's been talk about with Asiata? If you can't tackle high up, then you're tackling low down?
Yeah, to be honest, there's been quite a lot of talk recently about hip drop tackles, and one thing that we've noticed with these trial games is obviously when you tackle someone you can't move your arms up past the armpits, so there's a lot of hip drop tackles which one of our lads against London, he had come off injured for because he did his ankle. And but not just that, it's the ball carrier as well. There's a lot of times where they're putting the knees and elbows up, so then when we're trying to hit under the elbow, hit under the armpit, we're getting an elbow and knee to the face, and that's causing more concussions than an eye tackle. So I think I don't think it's the way forward, but we just have to put up with it for the trial games.
And is there any sort of like penalising going on within one of your games? You know, for what you're saying, the hip drop tackles, the tackles below the knee, that sort of thing. Is there a ruling in place, or if a player's dropping to the knees, which brings your arms up, as we saw with Joel Shorrocks? Do you feel, is there anything in the game where the opposing team gets penalised for that?
No, there isn't, which is a shame really, because I think teams started using it to their advantage. But something that did come in after the first game was referee's discretion, they called it. So if that's what we said after the first game with referee's discretion as well, where if the player was dipping into the tackle to stop you tackling under the armpit, then the rest were just letting it be a normal tackle, which goes against the rules that they were trying to enforce. So I don't see what the point in enforcing the rules were if there was that. So it was referee's discretion got brought in.
I don't know, I'll say no more. I think the laugh around the room said it. What is it? Consistently inconsistent? Yeah, you know. So now I want to know, we're going to talk about the league game. Did we upset your granddad beating him like that?
Funnily enough, I asked a couple of the lads off the academy team for the season tickets who weren't going to the game, so my granddad could come and watch that. We got him into Wigan stand, but he was still standing up and cheering for Lee when Tom and Mum went over for that first, but I think he was a bit upset after the game.
So that game, Brad, I felt was very similar to when we encountered them at Lee at the end of March, in that they sort of were well in the game for the first 40 minutes and particularly the first 40 minutes of this game, but then the second half seemed to be very tired. Our fitness levels seem much higher. Would that be a fair appraisal of that?
Yeah, so obviously Lee coming up this year, they've shocked a lot of people, haven't they? They've won quite a few games on the bounce, and they've beat Saints twice now. They beat Warrington, they beat Catalan. So there was the team to beat in March, and obviously they put on the show there, the Leopards then, and they put on the show, and they did a shambles from it once, so they thought they were going to come here and try and do us after that loss, and after they beat Saints in the semi, so they were rightly so the favourites coming in, and we knew it were going to be tough in the first 20, first 40, but we knew if we took them to that place again, where it's been mentally tough, that would break them in, the game would open up and we wouldn't score many points. And like it happened, didn't it? And we put them to bed quite early and shut them up down in the league, which I quite like.
Spoke like a true Wigan player that comes from Lee, that one. So we talked a lot about the gamesmanship, no I don't mean the games, the game management in the semi-final, there were things we could put right. Now this is only my interpretation, but I felt that you had more of a mandate of freedom, that if you saw a move that could come off, you could go for it. Seemed to see a lot of that from Miski and Brad, from French, sorry. Didn't see anything from you, love. And Marsha, with the kicks and everything. Was there a kind of mandate of, if you see a chance, take it?
We're talking about the old car game, or league game, yeah? Or the league game. I think that's the same for every game, really. If one of the players like Bevan, Jay, actually Marsh and Miski, Harry, if they see any chances like that, it's there for them to take. They're the outside backs and smart players of the team, as they say. So the chances like that, there'll be loads on Friday night. And, there's been loads all year where they took them in and shown what they're about. Obviously great players and making great finishes. But no, that's just for every game, man. Taking your chances is what we do. But Lee, they were just, obviously like I said, in that second half it just opened up. There was many for him to take, and they just looked like disheartened, and then we beating them up really, and they didn't want to go in that second half. So yeah, like there were many chances, and Miski, like I said, took a lot of them. Then he created 2 of them, scored 3. So he was having a field day there, wasn't he?
Youngsters this, I mean, he's coming up the wing at one hell of a pace and puts those little grubber kicks through. How difficult is that to do? Or do you find it easy? You got that face on you that says it's easy, man?
I think it's one of them ones, you see him doing it in training all the time whenever we're here, and first team of training, or whenever we've been asked to jump in occasionally with the first team. So yeah, he does them all the time in training, because I think if he didn't do him in training and then didn't win the game, I think he'd get in trouble for it, because he's not trying it on there. But yeah, he does them all the time in training, and they always come off in training, so I think he's mastered it. I've never tried it yet. I don't think I'm fast enough to get out of the wing there like that, so yeah.
And still on Miski, Brad, of course we have the 2 interception tries. Is that because under the review Matty and the coaching staff did, you highlight things like that pass from Brearley that's going out, and because of that Abbas was able to read it so readily, or was he just very, very lucky to be where he was when he shouldn't have been?
No, to be fair to Miski, he's always doing it. Yeah, he's academy legend also. They're flinging balls and he's picking them off all the time in training. He scores them more training. He scored one today and doing that. Him and Toby's got a good relationship now. So if Toby jams, he'll also go. So he just fits in that pocket now. So he's picking the passes really. But sometimes he won't do it, sometimes he'll do it. But teams will be looking out for him now and trying to loop him ball over, so he'll have to go back there, he'll have to go back where he belongs, and he'll come back out again in a couple of weeks' time. But no, he does it all the time in training and he practices it, so as long as he's doing it out there and doing it here, it's right, and he's scoring points from it, so it's working for us.
So Kian, still on about wingers. Are you really impressed with how they can get these tries when they've hardly any room to manoeuvre and stay in play, and yet they get that ball down?
Yeah, I think I could. I hope I could do some of them, but I don't think. I've got to be back as you say. It's not really something I do. I always stuck to what I've done. I've always enjoyed it.
So you are impressed with these wingmen's ability?
Yeah.
Okay. And while he's still so chatty and so talkative and absolutely terrified of me, I'll ask you this. Does it make life easier for you? We see in the first team the likes of the 2 centres, Wardle, King, our 2 wingmen, Marshall, Miski, really making life easy for you guys, because they're taking the ball up while you have a breather. So are you glad of that help that you get from your wings and centres?
I think it's massive. I think it's after you've done loads of D, we've got a little thing that we call Speedo, where our backs take our ball in, and we're knackered after all 100 tackles we've done. we shout Speedo, and I know definitely I've done it a few times. I've been knackered. First thing we do when we get balls, screaming Speedo. And, yeah, it's a massive relief, and it helps you. It really does help you get a breather.
A well-earned breather, you miss that out, So do you shout Speedo, Brad, or is it only at academy level you shout Speedo? What do you shout? Or should we not tell if it's going out on YouTube?
No. To be fair, we don't. I think we did have an academy, but we don't have it at first team, Speedo. They just know what job they've got to do because of what we've just done, so. No, like to Toby, Wardle and Miski. And Marshall, to be fair, they all carry for us really well. So they'll go the first 3 plays, get us on the front foot, and then us middles can take the next play, and then Harry Smith comes up with ball, puts a good kick in. that's coming at a yard or play and score from our own half. Sometimes that they try with Faz and Jay and Bevan, who fish try against Lee, playing at our own half. But no, like I said, Toby and Miski, they're the real two dominant carries, and they get our sets going really well, and they've done so far this year. Hope it continues.
So now for each of you, I know everything gets scrutinised and you come in and you review everything, all the good things, all the bad things, all the never do that again things. But when it's been on television, Sky, BBC, Channel 4, do you go home and you've recorded it and you watch it? And if you do, who do you think has the best coverage and commentary?
Definitely not John Wilkin. I don't know how far you can be biased without it being blatantly obvious. But I don't know. Quite like John Wells when he does his touchscreen stuff at the end of the game. Do you know when he gets the player in? I kind of like watching that because sometimes I don't even watch the game if I've been to the game in person. I just go and watch that to see, because you actually get a piece of the player's mind of what they've seen in the game, what they've not seen, kind of thing. So I like that, where it picks the player's brain after the game.
So the question was, what's your favourite channel? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, probably Sky.
My God. I can understand you not rewatching game, especially at Lee one. I bet your granddad banned you from television, didn't he? So, Kian, do you watch the game? And if you do, whose commentary and coverage do you prefer?
Prefer Channel 4 because it's free. It's always had a good time as well. Saturday and midday, not bad, not something good at doing it. You just want to do, chill out, watch Channel 4 and tell them watch some rugby, and then, yeah, that's it, yeah.
Well, my answer's the same as Kian, really. 1 o'clock kick-offs, you can't beat them if you can't meet them, if you can't get to the game. So, probably Channel 4, yeah.
Actually, they don't mind BBC me. You know, the Welsh fella, what's his name? Is it David? I quite like him, mate. I'm sick of listening to Sky, and I'm sick of listening to James Young, Buchanan, John Wilkin and Rest Day Crew. Oh, they all hate women, don't they? So I don't think, to be fair, all us lads, if we've all played, we've got an app called Huddle, so all our games are on there and all our clips and all the edits, and which is no commentary on there, which is really like it. We can just watch it ourselves and have our own opinion on stuff. And obviously when we come in here on a Monday morning or Monday afternoon, when these come in, coaches go through it, so we don't really listen to any of them, to be honest, but just quite like a Welsh accent. It's a bit of a change up in it from Yorkshire.
In the room, Sky. Who would put their hand up for Sky? Yeah, it's very harsh, isn't it, James? Love. Jack. Right, BBC? Channel 4. Yay! What I like about Channel 4, I mean, they're not as good as the Aussie commentators for saying how it is, but as an example, if you didn't listen to it, when it came to the tackle where Liam Marshall tackled Briscoe, and Jake Walver went on and scored the try, and it was disallowed. Well, Kyle Amor was saying, as a player and a relatively current player, the speed of the game and the angle he would have on that ball, he wouldn't know that he hadn't taken it in, and that the try should have stood. So what I like there is, you know, with the other channels, they just seem to go with whatever's been decided by the referee, no matter how biased or what have we. But on Channel 4 they do speak the mind, and I think as well they're very fresh on Channel 4, the way they put the production across. So my message to you is stop watching Sky, you numpty, and start watching Channel 4, okay? Right. So we'll have a look at Friday now, Hull KR. Evidently we're going to get a weekend team coming. We've got 3 players been bought in on 2-week loans. We've got 3 academy players going to make the Deviton. So how difficult is that going to make it to be confident that there'll be no sort of complacency coming into the game?
Yeah, obviously it can be quite easy to become quite complacent with the team that they're bringing, but we've made this week about us and building on what we've been working on since the start of pre-season, which is based on the effort areas really. Make sure they don't dip, make sure full of energy, full of effort, not going to be overplaying your own too much. Make sure we're sticking to our processes and trying to build a full 80-minute performance. So it doesn't really matter who we're playing. We could be playing obviously the OKR team, but they're bringing on. We could play Leeds, Catalan. It doesn't matter. It's all about us and what we're going to do, and sticking to the processes that we've started off in pre-season and bringing it right through now.
I suppose you can understand the coach's concern. Probably last year, week before the final, you were a bit worried. I hope I don't get injured. I hope I don't get suspended. But do you think this year is a big factor is the head injury assessment? That you can take a knock in a game, and if you're not, you might be fine the day after, but you can't play for 11 days, so you're at that final. Do you think that's been a big consideration with the coaches as to why they don't want to put the main men out there?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously in the game against Wigan, it's quite physical, and obviously with them beating us in their semi-final, we was always going to come back in this game. So they don't want to take no risk, and you can't really blame them. Obviously we was in that position last year, and if they've got a big enough squad and they're willing to get loan players in and give players debuts, then fair play to them, because they have got a Challenge Cup like next week. We'd only do the same, but like I said, doesn't really matter about them. It's about us this week and about what we're going to do. So yeah, I'm not really about who they bring. It's about us, and hopefully we can get another good job done on Friday night.
You can just nod to this one, but has it been mentioned to try and rattle up as much points as we can in this game, as many points as we can in this game, because of course how close it is in the league, the points difference could be a big thing. So a slight nod one way or the other. That's called sitting the fence. So okay, we hope we're going to do the business on Friday, and then we've got a break. You know, when you get that, and you can each answer this for how you feel, when you get that break, we're sort of building momentum, as you've obviously made that obvious. And then we get this break. Now, some players like that break, some players want to keep the momentum going. So which player would you be when it comes to having a break in the season?
I don't particularly like the breaks, to be honest. I don't really do much away from rugby and work, so I don't. So I prefer to be here, really, training 3 times a week and then playing on the weekend. But you can see how it benefits the team, keeping everyone fresh, giving them a couple of days off. But then, yeah, I'm a hands-on person. I want to be here all the time, improving, getting better every day.
Personally, I don't like the breaks, because I think it just gives you a week off, and I think that you just switch off a bit and come back and you're not really the same. And you play a game and I'm happy with that. I want the best. I think it was that week off then. And yeah, that's it really for me.
I'm agreeing with these two. I don't really like the break, especially at this point in the season when you're trying to build your games towards the playoffs and the grand final. You kind of just lose that momentum, and then things in training that you'd normally do at ease start becoming a bit rusty, and then that relates to a game. So I think playing every week, so it helps you a lot to just keep that fluidity in the team.
Yeah, I'm a bit of both, so I think like these guys, but I think it's also important that the season is a long year. Obviously, we'd love to be at Wembley next week, but we're not. So I think it's important for us as a team to make sure that we do have a bit of a freshen up, a couple of days off, to come back fresh, ready for the next block of games, and it's leading up to the crunch time. So I think that we all come in fresh-minded, bodies all fresh. That I think it can also do as well. Talk about the mindset. I think if we have the right mindset, we all come in fresh and ready to go. That we can have a real positive end to the season. So like I say, I am on board with these, but I think we can take it both ways. Some lads will carry on like doing bits of their own training. I'll be one of those, making sure that I don't come in rusty for the week after, but I think it's important that our bodies do get a rest because it is a long season, and that we can come in fresh-minded with a fresh body, ready to attack the last end of the season.
So I think I can sort of ask each of you this. We're at the business end of the season. Our first team's done really, really well. So we're in the second position, and we've got an opportunity when we go over to Catalan. And will you tell the lads we're sick of going over there and getting pasted? So tell them to get that sorted, okay? While you're sorting St Helens same day, alright? Otherwise, we might be snapping at your heels, lad. So looking to us coming into the business end of the season and the run-in, how good is it? We seem to sort of like have a determination about us, a resilience about us that we've built up over the season, and it's been really boosted with the loss in the semi-final. So how good is the resilience and determination going to be to get us through to where we want to go?
Yeah, I think it's right all the way through the club. Obviously, the first team will be disappointed that they're not at Wembley to bring that home for 2 years in a row, but then I think that can give them that extra motivation to think, well, if we're not going to win that, we have to win something else this year, or else it's a downgrade from last year. And you never want to downgrade, do you? You always want to upgrade or stay the same at the minimum. So you always set yourself for the best, and unfortunately they've not been able to do one of the three this year. Hopefully they can do the other two. And I think it's the same with the academy lads this year, as we didn't even get to the same playoffs last year, like Rach said before. So I think that's already an upgrade for us, but we're not happy just being in that top four. We want to go and win the semi, and then we want to win the final as well once we're there. So no doubt we've got the players to do it. It's just staying switched on and doing it.
I'm not doing a question yet, love. You can't read your mind. I don't know, he's quite a spokesperson, isn't he? He's just right, yeah, he's just right for scrum half. Right, we'll give you this one, Kian. We've played in all weathers. We've played in the absolute downpours that were at Leeds for the semi, and we've played in the scorching sunshine that was here. And when we come down and like run into the playoffs and the grand final, goodness knows what weather we're going to get at the end of September, beginning of October. So how good do you think it is for our progress that we've played in all kinds of weather conditions?
I think it's something that you've got to expect and be used to, because you never know what day, as you said, what kind of day we'll have. And depends how you play really the format, and rubbish weather probably going to result in a bit of a scrappy game if you let it that way, and scorching out could be a sweaty game. Just
big round of applause for Kian. Can we have a big boo for Jack? Okay, Tom, we'll give you this one. We've got players, returning players. We've gone through the injury crisis mid-season, and it was some injury crisis that we went through. But we've got KPP back and playing. We've got Kate Cuss back out there. Hopefully, with what Matt has said this week, we're not too far away from Ethan and Sam coming back. So how good is it that we've got, a real injection of fresh players?
Well, it's good for the team really. It's competition for places really. I know that this year a lot of academy lads and the reserves lads are to train with the first team to do 13 or 13 sessions, and then coming back to the end of the year, it's more of like first team lads against each other now. So it's good for them because it keeps them used to like the pace of the game and the physicality instead of us young lads having to like step up and the first team lads maintaining the standards really. So yeah.
And for you, Brad, we've got depth in our squad. Like I said earlier, Matty's got a little bit spoke for choice for who he plays. How good is it that we've got a squad of that depth that we can rotate? And also, we've got a lot of versatility in the squad. So how useful is that going to be, within a game if we get injuries or, heaven forbid, send-offs or what have we, but also, in the running?
Yeah, like I said, we are getting our depth back now, but I think all year I don't think we've played with a full strength squad. So all these big games that we've played in, we've done it like without, we've had to go into our depth, which just shows that how good of a club that Wigan is, producing young lads like these, that the chances will come, and Matty does believe in us. So yeah, but now we've got the full squad coming to the back end of the year. Obviously very good in it. Like Rachford, we've got some. What's what I'm going to say? We've got some competition for places, haven't we? Which is only going to boost us all for the back end of the year, and hopefully we do get where we want to be, and that'll. All these depth is going to be needed to get where we want to be, so make sure that everyone is ready to step in and play. Yeah, that's it.
So Tom mentioned 13 on 13 and new academy lads having to step up. So did you show Harry a thing or two when you were against him?
There's been a couple of times where he's turned his nose up at things that I've done because I've kind of got one up on him, but it's only a very small thing in training that I've done, like stopped a kick going through, intercepted a pass, whatever like that, but all the other things he does to me in training just pushes him into a big really, so he's still in front of me by a fair way, so yeah, I'm just getting up with him.
So you're a long way off then, who you'll say? As a scrum half, what do you think of his infield kicking?
I think it's something that's been a real asset of his. I know that Wednesday, I know Tuesday, yesterday, he was out on the field with a kicking coach for 30-40 minutes after everyone else had gone in and had showers and were up here eating, so I think that just shows the hard work that he's putting in after training is paying off in games, and I think it's giving all the lads a real boost in the games when he's putting kicks in that can be challenged to score, or he's putting kicks in that makes the other team turn around and go and pick it up out of the corner.
Well, I think you've done amazingly well, and I have just one more question for you. We had a one-club training night. Were you all involved in that? Okay. So what did he have a go at?
We had two skill games outside, so we had like a bit of an overload game, so more attackers than defenders, just creating a bit of space. We also had a game of offside touch, which is pretty much passing in any direction, find a bit of space, get to the other side. And then we were just some more fundamental skills on here, a bit more passing, a bit more little drills like that. I didn't get to go in the wheelchairs or do anything like that, which I was disappointed with. I thought I wanted to go in there this year, and I didn't get to go last year either, so hopefully next year.
Was that the same for you too? So we'll come to you then, Brad. What did you get up to last night? Was it last night? I remember Monday, wasn't it? I don't want to know what you got up to last night. Got a young family.
we started off on the 4G with some skill games, and then we come on to the outside track here, doing just skill bits really, catch, pass, 2v1s, all that type of stuff. But it was good to get involved with players from all the different sides, with it being scholarship, the academy, the women's players, the scholarship academy, the learning disability, the physical disability as well. It was good that we could all train together, because like I said at the start, this club is a one club place, and everyone treats everyone the same, with the same respect. And it was a very enjoyable night with everybody. Some stuff that we wouldn't normally do, and it only comes around once a year, so I think we all enjoyed it and can't wait for next year.
So terrific. So I'm going to ask Jack one more question. Did your granddad queue up in the market hall for one of them shirts?
My granddad didn't know, my auntie did though for my little brother. So that's the biggest competition at home we've got, whether we're going to doing well or Lee are doing well. It's always my brother biting at me or me biting at my brother when something goes one way or the other. So hopefully that will change in a few years and we'll try and convert him. But for this year, definitely is definitely wearing that leopard print.
I think on Saturday, everyone in this room will be elated for that 80 minutes play. We'll all be cheering them on. I mean, if we can't have the cup, at least let's have it in the borough. And I think after the season that Lee have had, they're well deserving. They got a small squad. They didn't have a chance last time they came up in Super League because they were only told they were coming in Super League late on. They couldn't pick up players or anything. So believe it or not, we're happy about Lee. If we can't be there, we'll have Lee there. So can we give a huge round of applause to Jack, Kian, Tom, and Brad didn't do too bad, did he? Well, Brad, we're really, really pleased about your 4-year contract. That's absolutely brilliant for you.